So when you get a fish on, the other person, if it feels like it has some girth to it, you get your gear out of the water and out of the way.
If it's your first time out salmon fishing, it's super helpful to kind of have an understanding of what everything looks like the first time you send gear down by yourself. It's funny, I have spent so much time on other people's boats, but that very first time that I went out on my own boat and tried to fish, honestly, it was a disaster and things broke and I lost some gear. And it was kind of a bummer. I just wasn't quite prepared. So that's why I'm creating this video for you today. Hi, I'm Jamie with Anglers Unlimited, where we help you catch more fish and have more fun out on the water. If you like videos like these, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook or Instagram, or even better, check out our website at anglersunlimited.co and sign up for our email list and we'll keep you in the know. So let's jump right into it.
So we got to the fishing spot, and the first thing we're going to do is get the kicker going, so we have our trolling motor running and ready to go when we get our gear in. The little thing that I always say is never shut off your other engines until your other engine is running. So you always have an engine running. So you can hear the big ones running. I'm going to start the kicker. You've got a tie bar. You may not, but I've got a tie bar. Good thing to check on these is always check the ends. I got one that busted off the snap ring, but it stays on in smooth water. So we're gonna get this thing on and get it running.
And while he's working on the kicker, I can start getting the downrigger out. So you just put it out to the side. Make sure when you drop the ball over the side that you do it really gently so it doesn't reef on the end of the downrigger. Just like ease it into the water.
So we've got the boat in gear. We've got some forward momentum, about somewhere between 1.5 and 2 knots. I let my flasher out. I usually go about a boat length and a half back. And then you can see my downrigger still stowed, and I'll show you my technique. It's a little, it kind of helps you control the 12-pound ball going down. Most of them, if you have Scotties, they tilt up. So I just tilt it up, and when it's standing up like this, you unhook the ball, and then the ball just kind of hangs there then. So you can control it then as you let it down. I grab it, I hit the swivel lock, and then just rotate it out and lower it at the same time. It's a nice, gentle, smooth let down, and your downrigger's in place and you're ready to go.
If you don't have as much core strength, it's harder to do that. So in that case, just do what is easiest for you. Like, we definitely do things different.
You don't want to drop it though.
Yeah, don't drop it. And I like to let my line out to 15 to 20 feet or so. I tend to run it shorter to the cliff. It just depends on your preference.
So I'm all set up. I got my line in the clip. We're trolling 1.8. I like to look at the depth. It's 119 feet deep where we're at right now. And each downrigger that you operate will probably be different. I have 3 downriggers, and each one of them is different the way they operate. They have their own little characteristics after a while. So as you start to let it down, you can control the release of the line with your thumb, or you can, a lot of people set the drag on their reel. I just go ahead and go full release and then lower it. See, when I got close to my depth, I just went ahead and put the brake back on and stopped it. It was 119 feet. And I just stop it at 119. And then I reset everything. I wind my reel down, set it in the rod holder, adjust the drag. And you want a nice arch on the rod because that's going to help set the hook. If a fish takes it and pops it out of the clip, the release of the rod will actually help set the hook a little bit on a salmon. So you get them in, and now you want to just take a assess where you're at. Look at your depth. We're at 117 feet. I put mine down at 119, and we have a lot of scope on the lines right now, so we're safe from hitting the bottom. Now we're just looking for that elusive Chinook salmon.
So once you have your rod in the clip, you want to go ahead and drop the lever drag down. You never want to touch your downrigger until you've dropped your lever drag down, or whatever released your drag, so you do not rip the rod out of the rod holder. Then put it in your rod holder, or hold on to it. It's a preference thing. I like to set my drag loose when I let the downrigger go.
Keep your thumb here. So now that I've released it partly, you can see it spinning. So as I tighten it, it will stop. I really like these lever drags because you can set them exactly where you want. So I highly recommend the TR2000 Charter Specials.
So that keeps tension on the line, and that way I don't have to reel in a bunch of slack as it goes down. So I'll just keep it loose. And then when you grab the downrigger brake, go really slow. Every downrigger is different. You're gonna feel them and you'll see. But the key is to just don't do anything fast, because when stuff breaks, it's really not fun.
So here's the button on the Scotty downrigger. If you push and hold, it will come up until you stop. If you take this and turn it to the on position, it will automatically come up. The brake on the Scotty, pull towards you to release, push away to stop it.
So always keep your thumb on your reel spool, just in case, even if you have the drag set, and then go easy into the water. Make sure everything looks good. And then as it sends down, I'll ask, what's the depth?
132.
And then I will make note of that and decide where I want to set my downrigger ball. Since we're fishing in the summer, you can catch them suspended, or you can go towards the bottom. It's up to you. The biggest thing you'll see though, is so now that it's down where I want it, I'm going to flip my drag to where it should be, take any extra tension out. Because I had it on pretty loose, that most of the tension went down with the ball. I never free spooled the downrigger. You don't ever want to free spool the downrigger, especially when you have a flasher. It'll go too fast and it'll wrap up, and then you just got to reset your gear anyway. So just do it nice and easy at a really consistent speed going down, and everything will be set just the way you want it.
Let's try net them on my side.
Hey.
Okay, I'm backing up. Here you go.
Please don't have a fin. Please don't have a fin.
It does not have a fin, babe.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, it does not have
Yes! Yes!
Once you have fish on the boat, the first thing you want to do is get excited because it doesn't have a fin, which means you can keep it. Okay. And you hit them kind of right in between the eyes. And then you want to bleed them out as soon as you can, because that way you don't taint the meat.